Preservation matters at Headley Construction, but the way to tell our preservation story and to spark a passion for preservation in you today isn't to go into great detail about the danger of asbestos shingles or lead paint. It's not to tell long stories about the challenges we faced in reinforcing collapsed wood structures with modern steel beams. It's not to talk about blueprints and change orders. It's not to humble brag about our team, how our team has decades of award-winning preservation experience with century-year-old surfaces. We can only tell the preservation story by looking ahead. As Headley Construction heads into its 50th year in business, we started asking ourselves how we fit into the construction world of today. What is it that Headley stands for? And what we really are about isn't building and preserving buildings, although we do that well. But Headley Construction is about something more than that. Headley, at the core, our core value is that we believe passionate people can always build better. We strive for continuous improvement. With focus and consistency, we can always build better relationships, better experiences, better connections, better services, better communities, and ultimately, better lives. So that's what we believe. We have the opportunity to work with people like you, with architects, with clients, employees, owners, partners, lovers of history, our neighbors, and friends. For decades, we've worked together to build better in both big and small ways. Now more than ever, passionate people in our wonderful community of Newnan must build a better future for the next generation. Build better is more than just a core value, more than just our mission, it's our mindset. It's not just about building or preserving structures for us, it's about helping others, about helping our community. So, to succeed at historic preservation, we have to remember that things change over time. Change is the only constant, right? So the more things change, the more they stay the same. Sometimes change comes slowly. Sometimes it comes quickly and with little warning. And although it can be extremely difficult most of the time, embracing change works to our benefit. The construction industry is always changing. It's a better place than it was when we were founded. It's a better market for growth and expansion than it was a decade ago. And Headley's place in that market is better today. Our smarter site development and strategies and streamlined subcontractor processes create better results for our clients. But our values, those have not changed. The things we believed back in 1971 when Mr. and Mrs. Headley opened our company at their kitchen table on Jackson Street, those are the same things that Headley Construction's team stands for today. Knowing where you came from, where you're heading, and what you stand for is a good way to approach preservation, renovation, and life in general. We're extremely proud to have been involved in some of the most compelling preservation projects in Newnan. One of our highest profile adaptive reuse projects involved reclaiming Newnan's historic cotton mill, which is located directly across the street from where we're sitting. I never realized in that photo that girl has no shoes on. Did you ever notice that? She has no shoes on, working in the factory. We worked with several partners to save the structure from demolition. This unique century-old mill was converted into a live, work, play, multi-family residence that is home to hundreds of our neighbors, as well as several local businesses. We converted Newnan Cotton Mill No. 1 into the Newnan Lofts in 1999. The dye house at the mill was too dilapidated, so it was rebuilt for a new purpose at the old location. This entire project was rehabilitated in accordance with the Department of Interior's preservation requirements at a standard of excellence recognized by the Georgia Trust for Historic Preservation. Headley Construction was at the forefront of bringing residential apartments to the city of Newnan, breathing new life into outdated spaces. Anybody know what that space is? You may have seen it recently on social media. So that's the old fire station. That's old fire station number 1, downtown Newnan. You may recognize it better as this. In the 1980s, we worked hard to honor the old fire station number 1 by converting it into the firehouse lofts on LaGrange Street. More recently, we were honored to build better modern retail spaces below the apartments, which those were here and there. turning those into Carvella's Pizza and Hair Society of Newnan. Right next door, you'll find the Carnegie Library. The Newnan Carnegie Library was the only Carnegie Library that was ever repurposed into another use, which was the Coweta County offices, and then restored back to its original use of a library. Headley Construction converted the Carnegie back to its current use as a public library in 2008 and 2009. Along with our conversion of the Murray Print Building on Spring Street, the Spring Street lofts were completed in 2016. Newnan's residents continue to enjoy live, work, play, lifestyle options in our historic buildings thanks to Headley's Build Better approach to housing and adaptive reuse. My beautiful wife, Amber, who's with us today, works at Piedmont Hospital. So when I was started at Headley, I was a project manager when that was converted from the hospital into the college there. So I was especially proud to be able to work with local leaders at the University of West Georgia, repurpose the old hospital into a new educational space for the next generation of nurses that would be coming along. If we really want to save our spaces, taking a progressive approach is the only way to really put historic preservation into practice. All right, so kind of remember that about progressive approach. We're going to see some of that a little bit later on.